The state of Virginia is home to some of the most passionate people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting before. Did you know that Virginia actually became a state in June 25th, 1788?
I did not know. I don't think they taught us that.
You're not from Virginia. Guys, welcome. We're in a new spot today. We're not in a basement. We're not in a kitchen. We're not in a garage. And we're not at the new shop. Where are we?
We are in Fortune Auto's conference room.
That's awesome. And if you guys don't mind introducing yourself, why are we in Fortune Auto's conference room? What are we doing here today?
So I'm Ray. I am the social media lead here at Fortune Auto. And this is...
I'm Zach. I lead research and development at Fortune Auto.
If you were to put into a single sentence, what would you say most of your day is filled with working at a coilover company? What would you say?
I think mine's going to be a little different, being that I'm on the social media side of things.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else will tell you that my job involves me watching TikToks all day.
I was just watching some.
That's 50% true.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, just kind of doing what I love, looking at car content all day, working with people and walking them through their builds, and why their suspension matters is what most of my day consists of.
Your job sounds actually really easy. Research, development, cooking, what exactly? Looking at TikToks and understanding, the macroeconomic play of social media content from a psychological level is a really tough
understanding the algorithm is
it's like combating AI. In my thoughts, your what's the Terminator? Sarah Jessica Parker? No. What's the mom's name in Terminator? You know what I remember? Did you guys watch Terminator?
Can I phone a friend?
I was gonna say I think we established it.
Dakota, I need you to Google something.
Google
You're making a post on Instagram. It's Sarah Jessica Parker. Who is the mom in Terminator?
Why are you yelling?
Siri. Siri, tell me. You have the tougher job, but
Right.
why don't you tell us what
that's-
you do in research and development?
They lock me in a dark room and I just do math.
Huh?
Sarah Connor?
Sarah Connor.
Yeah,
You're like Sarah Connor.
Exactly. That's
Trying
the
to
perfect-
combat.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm usually 80% of the way there on what I'm trying to say. But what do you do in R&D, for real?
Yeah, they lock me in a dark room and I do math.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we got that out of the way.
So a lot of what I do is algorithmic research. So we are actually ingesting a lot of data about the cars that we develop for and using that to inform our decisions about how we valve the shocks, what springs we choose, all the different things that we would put into our applications that will sell. So some of that is math, some of that is some programming, a bit of engineering and design, and then just taking apart and just staring at it for 3 hours and trying to figure out what's wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's maybe once or twice a week I'll get to do that. But yeah, a lot of it is looking at car, measure some car things, put the car on the scales, put the car in the air.
That was we were able to walk around this building, this place, this space, and there's a little bit more history than what I was imagining. There's some old builds, I'm staring at some right now. I'm looking at an Evo 8. It looks like, is that an Evo 8, right? That's sick, or an Evo 9,
so.
a red RX-7.
The FD.
Yeah, the FD. But there's an egg over there. Do you guys know anything about that car? It's got the old Fortune Auto logo. When you guys had a big long name, it was blue and green and a big shock on the side. What is that from?
So that is an old time attack build that is before my time.
Before you were born?
Approximately.
Maybe, honestly. I don't know if you know how old I am, but maybe actually.
I can't tell, and therefore I will not state.
That I will say that car was probably manufactured before I was born.
I could confidently say that as well.
Yeah. But I want to say that car is actually still in use.
Is it really?
I know someone sent me a picture of it recently because it was at the shop.
Okay.
And they were like, "Hey, this car is still here."
That's
and
neat.
I think it still has the logo on the side.
That's an old school
I can't
logo.
Remember? Yeah. No,
it's like
that
the
one's-
big balloon logo. We'll put it up, but if you
Yeah.
guys don't know, Fortune Auto's been around for a minute. When did you guys get started?
08.
08, so 2008. So it's been around for a while, And they're an aftermarket coilover company located right here in the States, located in Richmond, Virginia, of all places. There's an actual city that you guys are in, but we're near Richmond, so it's like Wisconsin. It's
Richmond,
like,
yeah. It's like Richmond's the one place that everyone knows.
Yeah.
But if you're from Virginia, we're in Powhatan. But if you're not from people, yeah, exactly.
Not going to remember that.
Yeah.
So Richmond, I can
easy to
remember.
say.
That one's got an airport.
Exactly.
But in Wisconsin, we do the same thing. People be like, oh, where are you from? I'll be like, from Wisconsin. They're like, oh, where in Wisconsin? I'm like, Milwaukee. They're like, oh, yeah. If I'm like, oh, Appleton. They're like, where's that? I'm like, oh, it's like 20 minutes from Green Bay. They're like, where?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I give up. I'm just going to Milwaukee. We're from Milwaukee.
Yeah.
But that's super cool. So you guys have been around for a minute. Do aftermarket coilovers. Why? What's your special niche with coilovers? Why do you guys do it? What makes you different? What makes you saucy?
I'll go into why, right?
Yeah, give me the marketing pitch.
Oh,
No,
okay,
don't give me the marketing. No, I take it all back.
I meant
give me the
all
Ray pitch.
So a lot of people don't know how Fortune Auto started. So really, there was just a need for just Terry and his team to have shocks that were customizable to meet their needs trackside. Mm-hmm. You could get shocks at the time. You can get coilovers, and you would request like, hey, I need it to do this, and I need this spring rate, or I need this combination of shock length, stroke length. That wasn't an option back then. So what did he do? He decided, hey, why don't I just do it myself? And then after that, it was just kind of like, well, there's a need for this in the market. Like, there's a market for it.
Yeah, it seemed to work.
Yeah,
it seemed to work. You got a couple trophies back here, there, guy.
Yeah.
The one that is the most, I think, relevant to the people that might be actually listening or watching are the ones over here from Gridlight.
Should we bring these up?
Did you earn those?
I did not earn these. No.
Ray, who owns those?
So
who'd you steal those from?
I stole these from our buddy Benjamin Lynn from, you may know him from Gears and Gasoline. Yeah, Ben Lynn was kind enough, kinder than Ben Thorne. He gave us his trophies. And
Ben Thorne on
display.
the hot plate today.
You know, that's a third place. Let's go ahead and show one of the first place.
Just real quick.
Yeah, real quick. Just so y'all know.
And did Ben Lynn give you that one too?
Yeah,
Ben Lynn. Ben Thorne?
No.
No.
There's rumors that Ben Thorne has
Thorne.
trophies, but I don't see them anymore.
I don't see. Well, you've stolen them. You've added them to a collection
I did not steal these.
Every place I look, there's just weird, funky things that I just want to take home with me. In case the audience is watching, there's one book I actually spotted before anybody even noticed. It's this one right here. This, my friends, is a $99.95 book on the Porsche 996, the underrated Porsche platform of our generation. I actually had a 996 Turbo X50. I love that car. It's a shame that everybody thought that they were ugly and still kind of thinks that they're ugly.
As long as you like them, that's what matters.
And a majority of the community. But what do you drive?
What do I drive? I drive a 1996 Mazda Miata.
Good man.
Yeah, I mean, arguably the best car. But
and what do you drive?
I drive a bone stock 2012 Acura TSX wagon.
You didn't have to add the bone stock part, but like,
I feel like they gotta qualify in this.
Yeah, I suppose. I suppose a little bit. The TSX is kind of dope though, right? Because do you have plans for it?
Drive it.
Just drive it. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Slam it on the ground, 6-speed swap it.
That's what I told him to do.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of.
I might manual swap it because in this market we got like the absolute bone like base spec of that car. Even though it's a Acura product, it's a luxury car. Mm-hmm. It got nothing exciting. Yeah, it is just a Honda Accord wagon.
Just the one trim you could get from that platform.
It's fantastic, but it is an economy car. Yeah, and you can feel that.
Yeah, well, sometimes that's just how it be. At least you still got a wagon.
True.
Wagons are cool. I love wagons, not as much as 996s. Mazda Miata though, that's kind of dope. What's all done to it? Ray.
So it's kind of like a stance show car.
Oh,
track inspired, which a lot of people might not like that.
Track inspired.
I'll never drive it on track.
You don't trust it?
No. It's not that I don't trust it. So I have a track car actually. I have an old spec Miata.
Okay.
So I don't need to drive this one on track. I just like the way it looks. So Sparco Sprints, Sparco 6-point harnesses, Momo steering wheel.
Wait, do you have a 6-point harness in a street car?
Yes, I do. I know, dude.
Dude, come on. You can't tell me you enjoy that.
Oh no, I don't mind it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't mind. I drive this car. No, I really don't. Yeah. Here's the thing. You're probably a lot older than I am, so for you, it might hurt and be uncomfortable. But I'm still at the age where it's tolerable.
This guy out here, it is 6 point. No, it's because you're 5'4" and you can probably actually get into a Miata easily.
That's true.
Fucked up.
Hey, I might be short, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I can drive the car comfortably.
I can't believe that you don't mind it.
No, I don't. Yeah, like I said, I told you earlier, I drove the car to Gat for Slammed Enough from here, from Virginia.
That's true.
Drove it to NJMP, which took me way too long. I drive it anytime I have like a road trip.
Cool.
I take that car. I fit all my stuff in it. Granted, it's jam packed when I go on a road trip.
Fit.
Yeah. But it does all fit.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could have a dream car, because you have a wagon, sound very functional, very tout. But like, if there was like a dream car that you could have that you could own, that maybe still accomplishes the same thing, what would it be?
Well, I mean, just another wagon. I think like for me, like the pinnacle wagon that I love is the Audi RS6 Avant. That's
of course.
A fantastic aspirational wagon. It's the cost of a house in some states, not in Richmond, Virginia right now, but maybe in Wisconsin.
Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like the best possible case scenario. You fit all your stuff, you fit your whole family, you have like approximately 6
billion
horsepower. Like, doesn't matter. Infinite horsepowers. From a more like realistic, down to earth perspective, I have had a few more interesting cars, Volkswagen GTI, which I, just put on GTI Club Sport replica wheels, slammed it.
Yeah.
And then I recently had an NC Miata, which was just suspension, roll cage, standard things.
Okay.
So yeah,
that'd be super cool. I got to give my heart and soul to obviously the RS6 Avant. E63S AMG wagon, obviously a banger. 6.2 V8, naturally aspirated, billion horsepower, 1,000,000 foot-pounds of torque, and you can occasionally find them on sale for under $40,000.
It's true.
Occasionally. It does also cost $40,000 to repair them when they break. Doesn't matter because it's still cool. But have you seen that BMW is teasing the touring M3? It's M3, right? Yeah, M3. M5? Yep. Well, they have the M5, but they were also doing like an M3 variant, I think, in Europe or something like that. I know they've been teasing the M5. They just teased that, but they also have an Estate that they've been teasing an M Estate for the States.
Really?
Yeah.
I have not seen. Yeah. Can we get them to pull that up?
Yeah.
Pull it up. Pull it up on the screen.
Pull it up on the. Pull it up in between the cabinetry that I'm pretty sure is a microwave was supposed to be there at some point. It's
probably.
It's over there. More efficient. Gels is hanging on to it. That's All right. So you guys have obviously Fortune Auto, a ton of track experience. You guys are more, I would say, probably well versed in the track scene, more grid life stuff, time attack stuff, things like that. From what you've seen and what you know, what do you think walking into 2024 best budget track car somebody could buy right now that you could put your money on?
Overall, or like a new car?
It can be anything. Like when you know what you know about, obviously you guys are playing with suspension all the time. You're playing with coilovers all the time. You're kind of seeing what's getting popular, what's not getting popular, what's fading in, what's fading out. Because obviously you're seeing the tickets come through, right? But is there ever a platform where you see it come through and you're like, this guy's got it right. This guy is going to have a good time on the track.
You know what I think, and I think you might agree with me on this. One of the best out-the-box cars right now is going to be the GR86 platform.
Oof.
Yeah, I think that one is going to be the one that if you're looking into getting into it, that's what I would go with just because they're so good just out the box. Yeah. If you're looking for something a little bit older, GR86, I might not take it on track. Maybe I'm a little scared, right? Okay. I don't want to hurt that car. Little bias. I'd go with the Mazda Miata.
Mm-hmm. What generation?
NA.
NA?
I love the NA. It's not the fastest. All right, let's be honest.
It's not fast. It's not fast at all. It's not like fast-ish. I had 6 Miatas in my life, so I know. I love my Miatas. They're just slow as balls.
6 in the last 2-3 years?
See, it's kind of like an itch. I'm convinced Miata and VW guys can join forces because together, if you own one Volkswagen and you get the itch of like a Mark IV, there's just constantly one in rotation in your garage. 100%. And then you have to buy another one to fund the other one. And then you have to get another one for the parts for the first one. And next thing you know, you're that guy in that neighborhood with the 4, Mark IVs. Yeah. That's just how I feel. What about you?
I'll throw a weird one out. So I do completely agree with you. The GR86 platform, like that new BRZ 86, and even extending back to the first generation, like the FRS, BRZ, the old GT86, right? It's a great platform. It's accessible. It's affordable, even in today's market. Like I say, affordable. You can get a new one for at or under $30,000 for a car that has that kind of performance and capability out of the box for your everyday commute and on track. It's great, but Mazda RX-8.
I have a bone to pick with you and saying the RX-8. Okay, first off, Gels, put your hand down. Second off, when we came here last year, we came here for Japan Auto Legends, which is hosted by Driver Motorsports. And when we went to Virginia International Raceway, first off, it was cold. It was raining. I'm a small boy. I needed way more layers than what I brought. Doesn't matter. It
was so cold. Like
we're walking around. We're walking around, and I've never seen Gels, not just shoulders back, but shoulders back, chin up, and just a little taller than everyone else. And I'm like, Gels, you look quite chipper today. What's going on, bud? Why are you so happy? Is it because we're out of Wisconsin? He goes, no. Look. And I'm like, what is it, Gels? What is it? He's like, RX-8. And I'm like, it is. He goes, no, another RX-8. They're tracking RX-8s, and there was fleets of RX-8s coming in and out of VIR. I have never seen a more concentrated amount of running, driving, functional RX-8 in my entire life. Why are people tracking them? I thought they were unreliable. I thought they were not supposed to be on the track. Apparently, VIR just got a thing for RX-8s, or like, what's the deal?
Well, here's the thing. It stems from the period of Mazda when Ford owned a controlling stake in it. Mm-hmm. So the development of the platform that holds the RX-8 also holds the NC Miata. So there is Japanese Mazda R&D in the chassis of the RX-8. So the suspension geometry and the handling of that car is fantastic. It is still like among the best kind of driving car characteristics that you can get. And the aftermarket support for the NC Miata and all the stuff that was developed for that, much of it carries over to that car.
Really?
So you take advantage of that. Then also, because they're unreliable and they explode and people don't know how to take care of them, you can get one intact with a blown engine for $2,000 with like 80,000 miles on it on Facebook. And you can then drop whatever you want into it, and then you have a fantastic, functional, capable track car for like under $10,000 with a V8 or with a K-swap or whatever motor you want to shunt in there, or if you want to do another rotary, you can do that, right? There's good options for it, but the car itself out of the box maybe wouldn't yield itself to being the ideal track candidate, but like all this perfect storm of the first owner didn't know how to take care of it, the second owner didn't know how to take care of it, suddenly it's $4,000 on Facebook and it only has 80,000 miles. That's a track car.
That's neat. See, Gels, there's a chance. Yeah. There's a chance for the wide body RX-8 on the big wheels, on the air suspension, to make it out to VIR. You too.
I'll just get a second RX-8.
He's going to get a second RX-8. See, here's the thing. If you guys are listening in, one of the coolest things that I enjoy about talking to people who work at a company that like make a product for the scene is you guys get to see so much on the front end, but you also get to know way more of like the back end side of the industry, right? It's not just building a car for a car show. You're just buying the part and that's it. Like it's only from the part forward. You guys are doing like R&D and you're doing testing and you're kind of trying to figure out like what works. Like I spent 30 minutes asking you 9 million questions on how shims work with that digressive piston system and how that affects how a coilover behaves. And when you guys see like all that stuff come together, right, you get to see a product that like you're building, you're working on. Then you go to VIR, that's 2.5 hours away, right? And you see somebody running like a Fortune Auto logo, or you see Gears and Gasoline, right? The videos that they're doing at like Laguna Seca, probably one of my favorite videos that they've ever done. It honestly changed how I watched their content, because I had watched it for a long time, but I kind of took a break from it just because they do longer episodes and things. I hadn't found myself time to sit down and get through. I can't partially watch it. I have to watch the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just sitting there and I watched the Laguna Seca video, and my heart poured out for that video. That video was incredible, but there was something that caught my eye or my ear was, I think it was like 7-9 minutes in, when Ben's walking around the car and they're kind of talking about what they're doing. He goes, I have to change the front because I have to change the Fortune Auto Coilovers because it's just not driving how I want it to. I want to stiffen it up. And it was just one sentence, it was just that one sentence. I was like, the Fortune Auto guys have to feel really proud about that. There's somebody out there doing track stuff, really using their coilovers. They're doing something awesome. And these guys are super passionate. They're very experienced, and they're running your stuff. Like, from your perspective, how does that feel?
No, I think it feels great. I don't know if you know this, because I don't know if you had the chance to talk to him, but Devin from R&D, he actually competes in Grid Life as well.
Okay.
So whether we're a part of the event or we're just going there, I'm helping them out on track through the weekend. While we're there, we get to see so many guys that are running the product, that are asking us questions, coming up to us, telling us what changes they made, or we know what changes they've made because we made the changes for them. Right?
It's like, I saw the sheet.
So I go up to them, I'm like, hey, I know you were really stoked for this event. We were talking about this before we got here. Like, how's it performing? And then it's great to be there and just listen to them, like, oh, here's the changes that I made in between my sessions, and this is what the car's doing now. Not only do we get to see it in real time, but we can also help them in real time, which is like that's like one of my favorite part about going to like the Grid Life events, is just being with all the guys that I've talked to. I don't know, how many emails we send back and forth during the off season, trying to get everything prepped, trying to get everything ready, seeing them post on their stories, and then going to the track and watching them just do the damn thing. I think that's like, it's one of my favorite things of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right. Always super proud to see what people are doing with this stuff that we work on. And it's really, it's a very eye-opening thing for me, because again, I am locked in a dark room all day, toying with like sometimes like near microscopic assemblies. I'm working on the shape of a valve that is 3 millimeters long, and I have been zoomed in to 400% on my monitor all day, and it's really, really hard to think about this component or this like microscopic change that I'm making actually having like some difference, and then to zoom all the way out from the sub millimeter level all the way across the country to Laguna Seca, and see a product, right, that I've had my hands in perform and be utilized by a talented driver and have them actually extract the potential and the capability out of the product is amazing.
So when you guys see stuff like that, like I would always say, when we have people ask on MartiniWorks, which if you're looking for car parts, mod your car at MartiniWorks, they're always like, hey, I just bought a GRD6, I just bought a 350Z, what should be my like first mods? And we usually say, well, what are you doing with it? They're like, well, I'm gonna be driving it. I'm probably gonna try, I want to try drifting. If they have a 350Z, that's always like the go-to. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, one of the first things I always say is like, once you drift twice, then buy a seat. Because I usually say you never really know if you're gonna go into anything full time unless you do it at least twice. Because a lot of people go drifting once, but then they find out it's not for them, or it's too scary, or they're drifting their only car and it breaks, and it just completely turns them off to the entire idea. But like usually top 3 mods will always be, wheels, coilovers, tires, great places to start. If you have aftermarket tires already, getting a nice set of wheels and going into coilovers is a really great place to start, at least from my perspective. Outside of the fact that you're partial to coilovers, what do you guys think is like the number one mod people should be jumping into?
I think this is one of those things that people do say it, but maybe it's forgotten a lot. If you're going to be going into drifting, if you're going to be going into time attack, I think driver mod is one of the most important.
Time.
Yeah, just getting seat time at the end of the day.
Agree.
That's what's going to matter. And like you said, for some people, they'll go and they'll prep for this track day. And what you might see sometimes is people overbuilding their car. There's,
We hear about it
out
all
of the gate.
time.
I need the big brake kit. I need the Pro 2 ways. I need this, and the third. And they go out there and then they can't drive the car. They don't know how it's supposed to perform. They don't know what changes need to be made because they've built it because they saw a video online and they just did what that guy did.
We've been there.
Yeah. So we all know. So I think,
What about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. I agree. Driver mod is like absolutely priority one, especially if you're dealing with a well-dialed platform like a 86 or a 350Z, right? These are cars that have a lot of history and development of use on track. And I mean, the GR86 specifically, like the new generation, the stock suspension on that car is remarkably good out of the box. If you didn't get the option that came with the Pilot Sport 4S's, get the Pilot Sport 4S's, get better pads, better brake fluid, and drive the car on track.
Yeah.
That's it. Have fun.
Hell yeah. Well, that's super cool. Well, I appreciate you guys. I'm sorry that we stole your kitchen for a little bit. We stole your break room. But if you guys are wondering, we're down here because we're always trying to help people understand the differences in the car parts that they're buying. And we try to pick and choose brands that we really are passionate about. And Fortune Auto is one of those brands. We talked about it a lot. We talk about it in our podcast. You're one of the guys that we plug and always in the podcast. Yeah. And so we appreciate your time. If you guys are looking for Fortune Auto products, you can go check them out over on MartiniWorks. And, of course, if you're looking to learn more about Fortune Auto specifically or you have questions, just drop it in the comments below or shoot us a DM over on MartiniWorks. We're absolutely happy to help. But thank you guys both for jumping onto the old potty, and we'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Anything you want to say?
Just thank you so much for having us.
Yeah,
we appreciate you guys being here. My favorite part was how happy Gels was during the RX-8 segment.
Yeah, love an RX-8.
More RX-8s. Maybe the same amount of RX-8s. I don't know if we need more of those. Bye.
Bye.